guys, today I wanted to share a little March Mystery Madness wrap up with you. My plan for March has been to kind of read the mystery books at the beginning of the month, and then at the last half of the month focus on like middle grade for middle grade March. So I've been doing that, and I'm technically like done with the March mystery part, but I still have some middle grade books that are mysteries. And also I've read some middle grade mysteries already. So like there's a little bit of overlap here, but I have 7 mystery books that I've read so far that I kind of want to wrap up here. I'll do the adult mysteries first, and then we'll do the middle grade ones after. And I actually haven't thought of number star ratings for these, so I'll kind of make that up as I go along, I guess. The first mystery that I read this month was The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. So the idea behind this is someone dies and every day you wake up in someone else's body. And I really liked, it's apparently Agatha Christie meets Groundhog Day, which sounded interesting to me. I'm not a huge fan of the Groundhog Day movie, but like the concept for a mystery sounded really cool. But when the person wakes up, they don't know who they are, and I feel like I love character-driven stories so much that I wasn't a huge fan. Like I could never get connected to the character, and then there are some kind of like twists and reasons this is happening that happen later on, and I just didn't really care for those reasons. So this book was okay. It felt really long, so I don't know, maybe 3 stars I'm gonna give this one. Yeah, so I don't know. I know lots of people like it, lots of people were kind of meh, and I'm kind of sitting on the meh side of things. Then, the one that I was like most excited about this month is The Mystery of Mrs Christie. So this is, well, what I thought it was going to be is back in 56, I think it was. No, I don't even actually remember what was the year. No, 1926. Agatha Christie went missing for 11 days. This is true. And I thought the book was going to be like, here's where she was, here's what she was doing. And it was kind of like that, but every other chapter we flipped back and forth. So we were like with Agatha Christie in 14 or something, when she's meeting her husband. And then we're kind of like on her, seeing this through her eyes. And then the other chapters were actually with her husband, and they're trying to figure out like where she's gone. And I was disappointed. I wanted to be with Agatha Christie, seeing what she was doing for those 11 days. And that's not what happened. So yeah, I'm probably going to give this one about 3 stars as well, which is too bad. I know some people really loved it, but it wasn't what I was expecting from the book, and that made me sad. Also, there is a like complete spoiler for the murder of Roger Ackroyd in here, which thankfully I've read that book and it's one of my favorites, and I'm very annoyed that there is a complete spoiler. It tells you everything. Yeah, I don't think it spoiled any other books, not that I noticed, but yeah, that one made me angry, because if you like Agatha Christie but you haven't read that one yet and you read this one, then there's no point in even reading that one. Yeah, so that made me mad, because I don't want books spoiling other books for people, especially when it's other books that they would probably like. Yeah, so probably another 3-star here. Okay, then I only had one other adult mystery book. I think this is kind of like more suspense, but like suspense mystery, kind of the same thing. This one was recommended by Shalise, who is from Sodbuster Living. She has a Sodbuster Living channel, but she just started a BookTube channel as well, and I think it's called And Read Another Chapter. I'll link it below anyway. I'll link both of her channels. But this is Collision of Lies. This is by Tom Threadgill. I'd never heard of him, but she talked about this book and I was like, ooh, that sounds good. So I went out and I got it from the library. And the whole story is, we start out 3 years previous, before the book even starts, a train hit a school bus. And I think 16 or so kids died. And at the very start of the book, the mom of one of the kids gets a text message from her son, who died 3 years ago, and she still thinks he's alive, and they get in touch with this detective, and the detective tries to find out whether or not the kid is dead, if they're alive, whatever. This felt like a really good ride to me. I never really knew what was going on. I didn't know. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I think this might be a series where we follow this detective in another book as well. But I'm like totally intrigued to read more of this author. This is Revel Publishing, which I think is kind of like a Christian-esque spin-off of a different publishing book. So our main character in here is a Christian, but like it doesn't really come up much. It doesn't really come up much. But I appreciate that like the book is really clean, and yeah, I'm really interested to read more by him. Okay, and then the rest are middle grade, although this one I'd say is like upper middle grade, and that is the Anola Holmes. This is the first book, The Case of the Missing Marquis. So I'm finally excited that, you know, after getting this book out from the library like 3 or 4 times, I finally read it. Yeah, so in this we follow Anola Holmes, who is supposed to be the younger sister of Mycroft and Sherlock, and their mom goes missing and leaves Enola a bunch of clues and ciphers, and I really enjoyed this. Reika read it. She didn't enjoy it as much because I don't know what year this is set, like whenever, 1888. And there was just some terminology like of like female garments from back then. Like there was things that really played a part in the mystery that she hasn't read much from that time period, so she didn't know what they were, so things didn't really make sense that way. And I've heard from Tiffany, she has a booktube channel, Beautiful Minutia. She said that there is like some topics like in future books they go into like prostitution and stuff like that, so this would be like definitely upper middle grade, maybe like YA, but it's super short and I really enjoyed the mystery and I am excited to continue with this series. Oh, I forgot to rate this book. How many stars do I give it? I'd say this is pretty close to a 5. It might be a 5. Oh, maybe I'll like give an official star rating at the end of the month when I do my end of month wrap up. But it's definitely close to a 5 if it's not. And Anola Holmes, I would give this one 4.5. I really enjoyed this one as well. Okay, and then actually the first book I read this month was The Winter House Mysteries. This is book 3 in the Winter House trilogy, and things wrapped up. I talked about this in my reading vlog. Our main character Elizabeth like has some decisions to make between like good and evil in this book, and I really appreciated those things that were going on. The Winter House Hotel has more mysteries going on, and yeah, it's third book. Can't say much for details, but I enjoyed it. I would say I enjoyed aspects of this more than the other ones. I'd probably give it a 4-star because I feel like there was less in the word puzzle side of things, which was things I really liked in the first few books, but yeah, definitely a good read and a 4-star book in my opinion. Okay, and then I've got 2 more. These are both like younger middle grade. The first one here is Case Closed. So this is pretty much choose your own adventure mystery book. So you have like your first chapter that kind of introduces your character and stuff, and then you go from like section to section, page to page, it tells you. But like throughout the book there are a bunch of like different puzzles that can affect things. Let's see if I can find another one. Well, that was also my number 1. Oh, there's a maze. So I like that it's like choose your own adventure, you know, you can get different outcomes all the time, but it also has puzzles in it. That was fun. So I only read this through once, and I did not do very well. My plan is to read this with my kids, and then we can try a couple different outcomes. But I just wanted like the general feel of it, and it's definitely written for younger kids. So it's a boy whose mom owns a detective agency and it's not doing well, but she's sick, so he decides to go out and solve this case for her. And he brings along his best friend and his best friend's little brother, and the little brother is like so annoying. I wish they would have just left him at home. But yeah, so like the actual writing isn't for me, but the mystery idea was fun, and I think my kids will have fun with this. Star rating. Oh, did I give? Yeah, I give Winter House 4 stars. This one maybe like 3.5. I think once I read it with my kids, it will be a higher rating because we'll have fun with it together. But like me myself, 3-ish, maybe even a little less, just because the characters were kind of annoying, but I really like the idea. Okay, and then my last one. This was also a younger middle grade book. This is The Great Great Cake Mystery. So Alexander McCall Smith wrote the #1 Ladies Detective Agency, which I enjoy. I've only read a few books so far, but I've enjoyed them. And in here, he takes the character Precious and he puts her as a younger kid and she solves mysteries. So it's like super short. It's like 76 pages, I think. 73 pages with big words. I loved the illustrations. Like, it has such African vibes. But yeah, definitely written for a younger crowd. I think maybe my son would really like this because he likes mysteries. But yeah, it was a fun idea. I'm not going to continue with the series, but I can see, yeah, my son really enjoying it. It's hard to rate a book that's obviously not written for you, so I'm not sure. Like, I would maybe give this a 3 just because I think lots of kids would like it, but it's not necessarily like for me. But I am so excited when people take books that I like and make them for middle grade, so my kids can read these kind of books now, and then they can read the books that I like when they're a little older. Okay, so those are the books, the mystery books that I've read so far this month. And then there was one book that I've read that didn't actually fall under this category, so I'll wrap that up at the end of the month. And then at the end of the month I'll also wrap up everything else I've read, which will probably mostly be middle grade, some middle grade mystery, because I still haven't read Aggie Morton, the second book, and I need to. So yeah, there's how things are going so far this month. Have you read any good mysteries lately? Please let me know, especially anything along the mystery suspense lines, especially if they're clean and you just don't know what's going on. I love that. Yeah, give me some more suggestions. You guys have been great at giving suggestions on my last video where I talked about things I like in books. I've been requesting all the books from the library, so I'm excited about that. And also let me know if you've been reading any good middle grade books. Maybe there's something I need to prioritize for the rest of the month. Thanks again for watching, guys.